Happy New Year! Well, not quite yet. It's almost New Year. Do you have any resolutions?
No.
These libs do.
Okay, this is a public service announcement. My New Year's resolution is to not have to repeat myself constantly to middle-aged to old white men. I am over it. So what I'm going to do now is anytime I start a conversation with a middle-aged to elderly white man, I'm going to start the conversation and then I'm going to ask them if they're listening. And when they get triggered by that and actually start listening, I won't have to repeat myself. That's my New Year's resolution.
That's good. And my resolution, now that that video is finished, is not to listen to her. All right, good. We've each got our resolutions. Good. I can't wait to keep mine.
There's a free New Year's resolution if you can't think of one, especially if you're a straight white guy like me. Don't correct anyone ever. I know you really want to. I know being right is a lot of fun. I know, believe me, I get it. But after making a conscious effort to avoid being pedantic, you would be surprised how little it matters if people say wrong stuff sometimes. It's fine. We're all ignorant about most things. And I think this mindset also helps me open my mind more in general when I'm talking with other people. Obviously, there are exceptions like, oh, you hold the knife from this side, right? Then you should probably...
Are his fingernails painted? His fingernails are painted, but he said he's a straight male. And I raise my eyebrow and I'm vindicated. So what he's saying is, if you know that something is right, and you know that someone else is laboring in error to their detriment, but if that other person is black or Hispanic or a homosexual or a woman, then just let that person languish in ignorance. Why? Because maybe then you'll have a leg up on them because you know the truth and you don't want to share it with anyone else. The height of white privilege, if you ask me, and male privilege and patriarchy. Why are his nails painted? Next one.
Oh, look, it's that time of year again, January, time to make resolutions. How many of you make resolutions? Me, not so much. But this year, I'm going to resolve to do something. I am going to resolve to keep on keeping on because this anti-racism work, this justice work is tiring and slow. And we don't always see a lot of results for our planting and our watering and our weeding. It takes a long time to even see a little sprout. But I'm going to resolve to keep on keeping on because I'm convinced that as we do our work, as we gather other aspiring allies to do the work with us, that we will see the needle move towards justice. And even though we might not have fruition in our lifetime, our hope and our prayer and our work is that we will see it in our children's lifetime, or maybe our children's lifetime. That is our hope. So, I resolve to keep on keeping on. What do you resolve to do in 2020?
She's going to do the work. They always say this. They always refer specifically to anti-racism, which is, it doesn't even have all that much to do with race. I mean, there's a racial aspect, which is, disadvantaged white people and ironically disadvantaged black people, but only through a kind of false generosity. That this is the work. This is the work. It makes me think of, the Christians have this idea of the work of God, opus dei, the work of God. And the libs, because liberalism is just a perversion, even an inversion of Christianity, they have some other kind of work, whatever it's opus gay or something. It's like there's opus dei, that's good, but they have opus gay. I would recommend the former. There's so much more to say. First, though, go to hillsdale.edu/Knowles. Time is our most precious commodity, don't I know it? I have heard from so many listeners who've asked for my advice on how they can spend their time wisely and improve themselves and people around them. That is why I'm so excited that Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses in the most important and enduring subject. You can learn about the works of C.S. Lewis, the stories in the book of Genesis, the meaning of the U.S. Constitution, the rise and fall of the Roman Republic, or the history of the ancient church, with Hillsdale College's online courses all available for free. That's right, for free. I personally recommend you sign up for Marxism, Socialism, and Communism. Start your free course, Marxism, Socialism, and Communism, today. Go to hillsdale.edu/Knowles, Knowles, right now to start. It's free. It's easy to get started. It's hillsdale.edu/Knowles, Knowles. I love Hillsdale College. It is one of the few great institutions of higher learning in the country around today. So make sure you check it out. Avail yourself of their resources. hillsdale.edu/Knowles.
For New Year's, we need to forget the whole resolution thing and try something a little different. Self-boundaries, or as I like to call them, agreements. Now, here's how you do it. So you know how you set boundaries for other people, or you're learning to set them? Well, you're going to do that for yourself. Step 1, you're going to write a list of agreements that you need for you. For example, speaking to me with kind words.
Shut up!
doing daily affirmations, drinking more water. You're going to go in detail on this, and I want you to write 2 lines. One is negotiable, one is non-negotiable. Negotiable ones are the ones that you can break from time to time, no big deal. But the non-negotiable ones are boundaries or agreements that have a consequence attached to them. Now write a list on the non-negotiable line of consequences when the agreement is disrespected, meaning when you disrespect your own agreement. For example, I know it sounds silly, but this works, okay? If you speak to you with kind words, and that's a non-negotiable, and then one day you're like, I'm so stupid. The consequence is you not only have to apologize to yourself, but you have to make amends.
Sir! Don't patronize me with that stuff crap!
No, hey, those are illegal.
What's your love language? If your love language is gifts, get yourself something nice. If it's quality time, then spend some time alone with you. Take a bath, watch your favorite movie. Healthy agreements strengthen relationships.
Shut up. Get out.
So imagine how strong your relationship will be with you. And when you learn to set them with you, it's so much easier to set them with others. Happy New Year.
So her resolution is to worship herself as God.
I just told you who I thought I was. A god. I just told you. That's who I think I am.
Because boundaries are good. And you think, she's talking about moral boundaries, but a moral boundary is like sin.
Don't use any of that stuff, Ricky. It will make you very upset.
And so the moral boundary is when you transgress against God or against someone else in violation of charity of neighbor, which also offends God. But she just makes herself into God. So traditionally, if you transgress the boundary, then you've committed a sin and you repent and you confess your sin and you ask God for forgiveness. But here, she's just made herself into God. So the only person she can sin against is herself. And then she winds up in the situation where she ends up just talking to herself. I'm so sorry, me. I forgive you, me. I love you, me. Me, me, me. All through the night. I, me, mine. I, me, mine. I, me, mine. Okay.
I still don't know what just happened. I really don't.
Well, a lady wrapped up in herself makes a very small package indeed. Can't even put it under the tree. Probably just got to stuff it in a stocking. Little tiny package.
Hey y'all, in 2025, guns are for the girlies, okay? The girls, we're all getting guns. We love those now. I want to sell a gun to your wife. I'm going to turn your sisters, your mothers, your grandmothers into gorgeous little guns.
What?
And I want you to think about this while I do that. Women are the main consumers of true crime content. A disturbing number of us listen to just the most grotesque, vile, nauseatingly detailed stories of humanity's depravity daily. And for many of us, that's relaxing, that soothes us. And now I'm going to give all these freaky firearms and like sleeper cell agents. This is about to going to activate a swarm of crime experts. And we're going to ruin everything with our pew.
All right. I mean, I like guns. But the flaw in her plan is that if my wife is going to make a significant purchase, she's going to ask my permission. So she's going to have to be selling the gun to me, this lady, and maybe I'll give it to my wife. But otherwise, I think that's a fine idea. That's it. Okay, my favorite's that one at the end. She's a little kooky, but I like her spirit. Happy New Year.